Hi friends, welcome back to another ukulele tutorial. Once a month we do a song poll within my Patreon community. These polls are based on song requests from my patrons to vote on a song for an upcoming tutorial. In our latest poll, Tapestry was the overwhelming winner, so it seems that this song is well loved by many of you. In this lesson, we'll look at two ways to play this song. The first will be an easy strumming pattern, and the second will be a beautiful finger-picking pattern. This song is fairly complex as it was originally written. Carole sings it with many key changes, so I spent some time simplifying the song for this tutorial, and I brought the number of chords from 26 all the way down to 12. We'll look at how to play each of the 4 verses, all in the key of F, and how to play the bridge, which is where our only key change happens. We'll start the bridge in the key of F and then change to A. Otherwise, the rest of the song is all in the key of F, so that it's more simple to play and beginner-friendly. Throughout this lesson, the chords, lyrics, and patterns will be on screen. If you'd like to download them as a PDF, you can do so from my Patreon page, where you can also download my songbook covering all of the song tutorials that I've shared. You can also participate in our monthly song polls to vote for upcoming song tutorials. I would love for you to join my Patreon family, or if you'd like to show your support for my channel by buying me a coffee, you can do that as well. You'll find both links down below in the video description. I want to point out that I'm playing a tenor with a low G. If you have a high G on your instrument, you can follow this entire lesson. Just keep in mind that the patterns will sound slightly different on your instrument, particularly the finger-picking pattern, because your 4th string is 1 octave higher than mine. After the tutorial, I hope you'll join me for a play-along, where I'll play through the entire song and you can play along with me. Now we're going to start by taking a look at how to play the chords in this song. If you're already familiar with these chords, then skip ahead to our first strumming pattern. We're starting with our F chord. I'm playing F with my index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string and my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Then we have C7, which is the 1st fret of the 1st string. Next we have G minor 7. I'm playing this chord with my index finger across the 1st and 2nd strings on the 1st fret, and then I also have my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Next we have our C chord, 3rd fret of the 1st string. Then we have B flat. To play B flat, we're starting off the same way as our G minor 7 chord, but we also have our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. Next we have B flat major 7. Here I have my index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. Next we have A minor 7, which is all open strings. Then our A chord, which is the 1st fret of the 3rd string and 2nd fret of the 4th string. Our next chord is E7. I have my index finger on the 1st fret of the 4th string and my middle and ring fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 3 and 1. Next we have F sharp minor. This is the same fingering as your G7 chord, just moved up a string. So if you're familiar with G7, you just move your fingers up 1 string to F sharp minor. So I have my index finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string and my middle and ring fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 4 and 2. Next we have our D major 7 chord. Here we're going to bar the 2nd fret across all 4 strings, and we'll play the 4th fret of the 1st string. If you'd rather not play this chord as a bar chord, then you can use your index, middle, and ring fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 4, 3, and 2, and your pinky on the 4th fret of the 1st string. Our final chord, which is only played once at the very end of the song, is D minor 7. Here I have my index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, my middle and ring fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 3 and 4, and my pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Now let's take a look at how to play this song using an easy strumming pattern. Let's take a close look at this pattern and how to apply it to our first verse. Our first pattern is made up of 3 downstrums. The pattern has 4 beats in it, and we're going to play downstrums on beats 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In this song, most of the chords are held for only 2 beats, so we're going to split this pattern between chords. As an example, in our introduction, we start on our F chord, and then we go to C7. We'll play 2 downstrums on F and 1 downstrum on C7. 1, 2, 3, 4. To complete our introduction, we'll play our pattern one more time on F and C7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Taking a look at our first verse, the first 2 lines are played the same way as the introduction, alternating between F and C7. When we get to our 3rd line, we're going to our G minor 7 chord. We'll split our pattern between G minor 7 and C. Then we're going to split our pattern between B flat and C. In line 4, we're going to our B flat major 7 chord. We'll play 2 downstrums on this chord, and then 1 downstrum on A minor 7, and then we go back to G minor 7 for 2 downstrums, and then we come to C7, which is the final chord of this verse. Here, if you'd like, you can play an arpeggio, which is a broken chord played more slowly to distinguish this as the end of the verse. Now I'll play and sing from the introduction through verse 1. My life has been a tapestry of rich and royal hue, an everlasting vision of the ever-changing view, a wondrous woven magic in bits of blue and gold, a tapestry to feel and see, impossible to hold. Now we've come to our second way of playing this song, using a finger-picking pattern. Let's take a close look at how to play this pattern and how to apply it to our second verse. Here's our second pattern, played slowly on an F chord. I'm starting by playing strings 4 down to 1 with my thumb, index finger, middle finger, and ring finger. Then I'm going back to string 4, 3, and finishing by playing strings 1 and 2 together. This pattern covers 4 beats, and the rhythm is 1 and 2 and 3 and. Bringing this pattern up to the tempo of this song will sound like this. Taking a look at our second verse, we're going to split this second pattern between chords the same way we did with our first pattern. So for example, we're starting on our F chord. We'll play the first half of the pattern on F. And then we'll switch to our C7 chord for the second half of the pattern. Then we'll repeat that to finish line 1. Line 2 is played the same way as line 1. When we get to line 3, we're going to split our pattern between G minor 7 and C, and then between B flat and C, and then in line 4, we're going to B flat major 7, and then A minor 7, then back to G minor 7, splitting this pattern with C7. Now for our final pattern at the end of verse 2, we're going to play G minor 7 and C7 one additional time compared to our first verse. Here we can play our second pattern, or I'm going to put another option out there for you, which is to pick all 4 strings on C7, or to play an arpeggio through all 4 strings. This helps to emphasize the end of the verse. Now I'll sing through the second verse using our second pattern. Once amid the soft silver sadness in the sky, there came a man of fortune, a drifter passing by. He wore a torn and tattered cloth around his leathered hide, and a coat of many colors, yellow, green on either side. If you're enjoying this lesson, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, then I would love for you to subscribe to my channel to show your support and receive notifications about future tutorials. After the second verse comes our bridge. The first 2 lines of the bridge are played the same way as the first 2 lines of the verses, alternating between F and C7. Line 3 is where our key change comes in. So for lines 3 and 4 of the bridge, we'll use different chords than what we used in the verses. When we get to line 3, this is where our key change happens. So here we're moving to an A chord. Then we're going to E7. Then we'll go to F sharp minor and back to A. Line 4 is the most dramatic part of the bridge. Here I'm going to play one slow arpeggio on D major 7, and then one slow arpeggio on E7. After our E7 chord, we're going to pause for 4 beats before we start verse 3. Now I'll sing through the entire bridge. He moved with some uncertainty as if he didn't know just what he was there for or where he ought to go. Once he reached for something golden hanging from a tree, and his hand came down empty. After the bridge comes verse 3, which is played the same way as verse 1. So now I'm going to play through verse 3 so you can hear how it sounds. Soon within my tapestry along the rutted road, he sat down on a river rock and turned into a toad. It seemed that he had fallen into someone's wicked spell. verse is made up of 5 lines rather than 4. So let's take a look at how to play the 4th verse and how to finish this beautiful song. Taking a look at verse 4, lines 1, 2, and 3 are played the same way as the first 3 lines of the other verses. When we get to line 4, we're going to split either of our patterns between B flat major 7 and A minor 7. Next, we're going to do a down strum arpeggio on G minor 7, and then we'll do the same on C7. Now moving into line 5, we're going back to an arpeggio on G minor 7, and now we have our single instance of our D minor 7 chord. We're going to play our entire pattern on this chord. So playing pattern 2, and then we'll play our entire pattern on C7. Then going to our F chord, we're going to split our pattern between F and C7. And we'll finish the song with an arpeggio on F. Here's how it looks to play the final 2 lines of verse 4 using our second pattern. And here's how it looks to strum these 2 lines using pattern 1. I'll play through our 4th and final verse. As I watched in sorrow, there suddenly appeared a figure gray and ghostly beneath a flowing beard. In times of deepest darkness, I've seen him dressed in black. Now my tapestry's unraveling. He's come to take me back. He's come to take me back. Next, we're moving into our play along. I'm going to play through the entire song instrumental only, so you can really hear how I move back and forth between the different chords and our 2 patterns. The chords and lyrics will be on screen, so you can play along with me, and if you'd like, you can also sing the lyrics. 5, 6, 7, 8. enjoyed learning 2 beautiful ways to play Tapestry. Have fun practicing this wonderful song, and thanks for watching. Now my tapestry's unraveling. He's come to take me back. He's come to take me back.